So, earlier this week, Bungie released a weapons tuning pass. For starters, we are informed that the minor spec, major spec, boss spec, and adept big one spec, and taken spec will all be deprecated, but in exchange, several weapon types are being buffed to compensate. The list is rather extensive, but a few key notes are that pulse rifles are getting a sizable 20% buff, and shotguns and snipers, except for Izanagi's Burden and Cloudstrike, are getting decent buffs too. In addition to those buffs, sidearms, trace rifles, scouts, and bows are all getting a 20% bump to red bar enemies. SMGs and hand cannons are also getting a slight bump in damage to red bars. Trace rifles will, however, get a 20% to yellows. The juicy 40% buff that exotic primaries got several months back is being tuned back slightly to 30%, as well as the splash damage from Sunshot, Graviton Lance, Polaris Lance, and Trinity Ghoul are being reduced by 10%. Kinetic damage types will now do the same damage as a stasis weapon to boss level enemies. Also, Iron Banner's Krimel's Dagger and Solstice's Something New 120 hand cannons are getting some stat boosts in an attempt to compete with Igneous Hammer. Perhaps some rather controversial changes are those to the Lament and Divinity. Before we go any further though, I would very much appreciate if you like this video, comment, and subscribe to help me reach my 100 sub goal. Now back to the video. Starting with Divinity. The cage it creates with sustained damage will now take 75% longer to show up on the target, affecting its ammo economy a bit. As for Lament, the healing you get from it is being reduced by 20% despite the healing being the trade-off for using it, even though it deals less damage than swords such as Bequest. Tell me what you guys think about these changes in the comment section below. Even though there are a few other exotic changes in this balance pass, one of my favorites is actually to Bastion. Bastion's perks, Saint's Fist, is getting a rework. The rework is as follows. Dealing damage with melee increases your charge rate, damage, and reload speed for a short duration. Landing a majority of pellets in a burst increases melee damage. Sounds pretty interesting. Speaking of exotics, Bungie showcased the exotics we'll be receiving in the final shape in the TWID earlier this week. I made a video covering the TWID's content. Be sure to check it out in the top right corner. Several perks are getting buffed or reworked as well, but perhaps my favorite change is the unnerf of Chill Clip. Riptide will remain at 3 shots to freeze, but every other weapon with Chill Clip will be back to its original 2 shots. There are several other changes I didn't cover with the intention of not making the video too long. However, I will link the weapons tuning pass in the description below. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.